the new Assassin's Creed has been leaked. Microsoft might not be able to buy Activision in Europe, and 343 has a dumpster fire on their hands known as Halo Infinite.
It's all hot garbage on the Gamers 2 podcast,
Including your two hosts.
your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest, like marble racing.
Yeah, apparently, my name's hot, his name's garbage, and we are here at the Frubeca, or whatever the hell the name of that was, Glass Car 2020.
Yeah, if you want to see some weird shit, YouTube Glass Car.
If you want to see some other weird shit, just hang out with me for a night of randomly clicking on YouTube videos to see where we end up.
Nate's got ESPN and the Ocho on lockdown.
That's the Ocho squared. The shit that shows up. What were the other things? We were watching darts one night.
Darts. Did we do bowling? We didn't do bowling. It was billiards. It was
Snooker.
snooker. Yeah.
That's right. Snooker showed up. We haven't done cricket yet, but I've been real close multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, cricket's like a legit sport, though. So.
Yeah, true. Haven't done bowling yet, but bowling's kind of like in a weird spot.
Yeah. I mean, the marble racing is definitely a new low. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to top marble racing.
Cheese wheel racing? The hill thing?
Even that makes more sense to me than
Okay.
marble racing.
Right.
Everyone wants cheese. They throw it down the hill. They all chase after it. But marbles.
But it was marble racing with production.
Oh, yeah. There was multiple tracks, multiple camera angles, tracking shots. There was some
leaderboards, split times, full
there was
commentary.
pit crew. There was
there were
scenery
pit lanes.
changes.
There were actual team trucks.
Splits. They had splits for the races.
Multiple backdrops.
Thousands of marbles.
So many marbles. Laps. One race was 44 laps. The video that we didn't watch all of, that we skimmed through just to see all of this, was an hour and 37 minutes long.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was definitely impressive.
Merch store, a subreddit, a Discord.
Yep.
So if you're a Nitro fan like me, buy a t-shirt.
I tried. Look, there was no Nitro t-shirt.
Well, this is a travesty. He must have retired.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Sometimes you got to go out on top, you know?
Yeah. Glass cracked or something.
Yeah. He got a chip in his shoulder and just could never recover. Get it? Because it would hurt his aerodynamics. Anyway.
Yeah. So if you have no interest in Glass Car or racing marbles, which you know what, I wouldn't blame you. You could also check out new releases.
And you won't believe the things I have for you this week, Matt. Number 1, Who's Who for the PC.
Who is who?
That's, you know what? I ask myself that every day. Number 2, Aliens Fireteam Elite Pathogen Expansion.
It's kind of funny that when I got home from work today, not the pathogen one, but the Who's Who, my wife kept saying, like, she was like looking at employees or something like that, and she's like, "Who are you?" And she kept like saying that, like, "Who's this? Who's this?" Like talking to herself, and I kept just going, "Who am I? Who am I?" Every time she said that.
I respect that.
Yeah, she didn't get it. But it's
No,
fine.
no.
It's fine.
She-
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. Number 3, Back for Blood Children of the Worm DLC. Number 4, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed.
Probe again.
Number 5, the full release. It's officially here. F1 Manager 2022 for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
A lot of people ask me about that game. Just being like, "Hey, you getting this? You playing this?" And I was like, "Listen, I don't have time for video games. If I did, I would play it."
When you say a lot of people, who's a lot of people? And
More than one.
And do they understand what a manager game means?
Probably not.
Because, like, there's, it's F1 2022, the racing game from Codemasters and EA. That's one thing. Which, if nobody asked you about that when it came out in June, I kind of understand, because also nobody knows that game came out.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like, do you understand what that actually means to be a manager game? Because that means it's way in over your head.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this game is also, I mean, it could be the marketing that they did, but it does seem to have acquired a weird amount of attention for the type of game it is. But who am I to judge a game?
He did the thing.
Who am I?
I scrolled way too far. Number 6, Orcs or ORX for the PC. Not sure. Number 7, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection for the PlayStation. Cowabunga indeed. It's pizza time. I know that's Spider-Man joke, but pizza. Number 8, Tinykin for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 9, Scathe for the PC. Go leave that a scathing review. Hate myself. Number 10, Chenzo Club for the PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And the Switch. Don't know why I stopped myself before reading the Switch.
Hating on Nintendo.
Number 11, that's your job. Number 11, The Dragoness, Command of the Flame for the PC. Number 12, Dewey's favorite game on this list, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R for the PC and for the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
Weird shenanigans going on there.
What shenanigans?
Oh,
just the double launch?
Yeah, with different dates.
Yeah. There's that, but also, is that just a multiversus Smash Bros. Style JoJo fighter?
That's what I would assume.
Interesting.
I mean, JoJo is that anime is all about fighting, kind of. So
okay,
not all about it, but it's big.
Hey, whatever you tell me it's about, I will believe you.
I mean, it gets wild.
The Nazis' vacation in France that they stayed slightly too long about? Yeah.
It could be a factor.
That would be a weird season of JoJo.
It's a weird fucking show.
Yeah, fair enough. Number 14, The Last of Us Part 1, again, for the PC and PlayStation.
We'll leave the horse to rot. Won't beat it anymore.
Yeah, it's not worth it. What is worth it, though, is I wanted to see somebody, one of the review sites, just repost their one from before.
Mm-hmm.
The very first Last of Us one, and just post it again.
That'd be funny. What annoyed me was the few things I did see was like them sucking it off, being like, it brings the game into the modern era, and it's like
the part of me with that specific sentence, and I just go, okay. So
it's just like you were too busy figuring out
if you could.
You never stop to ask yourself if you should.
Better, faster, stronger. And then now you just hear the $6 Million Man intro. Number 15, Lego Brawls for the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And if there's a game I'm more excited about than F1 2022 on this list, it is probably Lego Brawls. I don't know what that is, but if I'm not just having an absolute fist fight with Lego characters, I don't want it.
Yeah, like if they did like a what's the fighting game where it's like the goofy physics where you're controlling your...
Are you talking about Gang Beasts?
Yes. Like a Gang Beast style, but Lego themed.
That would be... I would also just take Lego skins and Gang Beasts. Like, that would have been fine for me.
Yeah.
This is on the App Store, apparently. Is a fighting game. It was on Apple Arcade in 2019.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Quite literally cannot find a screenshot of what's actually happening.
That's not good.
Oh, there it is. It is side combat fighting. And you can like customize some of the characters and stuff with different pieces and whatever.
As you should for a
It's
Lego game.
Yeah, especially for a Lego game.
As you should. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling odds.
Oh. Shocking revelation.
I gotta keep you on your toes every now and then.
Apparently.
Otherwise, that question is never relevant.
I mean, I was at that point where I assumed you were going evens.
That's what I mean. And now,
So
gotta flip it.
for next week, I'll be really confused. 'Cause I'll just
Oh,
be
wait
like,
till
what
you
are we-
see what I got planned for next week.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I just that. Oh my god! Just had the like scientist watching his supervillain or superhero from a far distance in a lab of just. Oh my god! He's actually.
He's doing it.
Number 1, Sony has acquired Savage Game Studios as the latest addition to PlayStation Studios. Savage Game Studios was founded in the summer of 2020 by veterans with prior experience at Rockstar, Wargaming, Rovio, and Next Games. Sony said Savage is currently working on a new, unannounced AAA mobile live service action game. Too many buzzwords.
Well, marketing.
Fair enough. Savage will be part of the newly formed PlayStation Studios mobile division, which will operate separately from the console business and focus on mobile titles using either new IP or existing PlayStation IP. So let's hope, for the love of God, Last of Us fighting game on mobile doesn't show up soon.
Last of Us Part 1 on mobile. Oh,
Hey, they're buying people, though.
They are buying people.
I mean, small potatoes, but
Herman Hulst did make a point to say that
still
this
one
would
of the greatest villain names that doesn't.
Yeah,
that isn't
he's-
a villain.
he's obviously a PlayStation supervillain.
He would fit in with like Xbox's if they ever did a mudslinging campaign style
Mm-hmm.
strategy. Herman Hulst is just asking for it.
Oh yeah. He did make a point though to be like, the mobile division isn't going to take away from the console division. That's PlayStation essentially diversifying. So
That's what I tried to tell my ex-girlfriend. Hey.
hey,
I don't know why. There's just been a
I'm
lot
just
of
diversifying here.
you gotta broaden your portfolio. There's been a lot of moments lately where I've wanted to do. I attribute those, and I might be doing this wrong, to like Rodney Dangerfield style jokes of like, that's my ex-wife, and just doing like,
Yeah.
the, hey, I should call this hurricane after my ex-wife, or like all that type of stuff. And I don't
Yeah.
know why, because 1, haven't had an ex-girlfriend in years. 2, don't have an ex-wife. But it's just I've just been making those jokes, and I don't know if something's wrong with me, if I'm just now old.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no humor anymore because I'm dead inside.
That's not true.
Number
The
2.
humor part, you're dead inside.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I heard you laughing downstairs. We were watching 2 men participate in the Finnish tradition of getting drunk in your underwear at your own house and just kind of relaxing.
Yeah. Looks amazing.
Also known as every Saturday night.
Number 2, Rocksteady Studios, the team behind the acclaimed Batman Arkham games and the upcoming Suicide Squad, is launching a new training program to help underrepresented people find a career in games development. Warner Bros. Stated that it will offer selected participants.
They precipitating?
Participants a free 12-week course in various disciplines. The program will offer hybrid training to help people prepare for roles in game design, art, audio, and quality assurance testing. They will also learn how to use software such as Unreal Engine, Jira, and is that Wise or WWise? I don't know. I'm familiar with that one.
I'm not either.
Never heard of that one. It's spelled two W's in the front, W-Y. So I'm just gonna go with that. The curriculum. Oh my God! It's one of those nights. One of those nights. Curriculum for the course has been developed as part of a partnership between Rocksteady and Next Gen Skills Academy. It's a cool idea for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. We're always down for doing it.
Down for doing it.
Son of a bitch. It is interesting with Rocksteady. I wonder how it's kind of all working, but it doesn't really matter internally. I'm just curious of if they're doing this. We still have a game coming out. Are you hiring a new team? Are you doing it similar to the way Ubisoft did their code learning stuff, where they basically had a couple people pre-record a bunch of stuff and then schedule it? Like, hey, on Friday, we're just going to have everybody, whoever's involved, record like the next week's hour-long episode type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, you can schedule releases, or, what are you going to do?
I think if I remember correctly, the studio is also a little hands-on as well, offering help them with assistance as far as like teaching and shadowing and that type of thing.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like the studios. I mean, why not do a program like this? You get the good PR. You can snatch talent when it shows up. You can develop talent. Like, why not do it?
Number 3, Facebook Gaming has announced that its app will no longer be active on October 28th. The change will affect both the iOS and Android versions of the program. Within the announcement regarding the app shutting down, the company said that the gaming division will continue to operate. I believe also that you can use like the regular Facebook app in order to navigate and stuff like that, but you just don't have a separate way to view it, which from my understanding for the people that were using it is really annoying.
That it was separate?
No, that it is no longer separate. Because you could just go there without having to go to Facebook. But
yeah, it seems to be a trend I've noticed that Facebook's doing where you used to be able to like go on Facebook Marketplace and go on different Facebook pages without logging in, and they've been slowly but surely restricting that to the point now where like if you want to look at anything Facebook related, you have to log in with an account.
Yeah, and
it's the same thing for Instagram, which for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And there was something else too I was thinking of with that, and I can't remember what it is.
Oculus?
Yeah, Oculus, obviously. But it's just like there's dumb things. Like also, I still have my Facebook account active, and I have Facebook messages that people have sent me, and I can't view them because I refuse to install the Facebook Messenger app, but they won't let you.
You can't. You used to be able to.
Yeah, which you can't anymore. It won't let you look at any of your messages without using the Facebook Messenger app. Which I'm just like, well, hope it's not anything important, people.
Yeah, because like when I had deactivated my Facebook account, they're like, you can still use Messenger. Like you log in with your Facebook account, but you don't actually have to use Facebook. And I'm like, no one's messaging me that I give a shit.
Yeah.
If you weren't talking to me outside of Facebook, we weren't talking to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Still one of the best decisions I made.
Yeah. It's definitely a solid decision. I mean, the annoying thing though is that with Facebook specifically is a lot of businesses and a lot of like sales
can happen
have moved to Facebook. So like if you want, like Craigslist isn't really used anymore.
No, your Facebook Marketplace.
If you want to do any sort of local shopping, you have to go through Facebook Marketplace.
There are times for sure that I have reactivated it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I've needed to find somebody, I've needed to find information. Find somebody sounds bad, but listen, live your life.
Don't ask questions.
Whether I've had to do that or like coming up for volleyball, I know that we've had a Facebook group because I was initially in it
before
I deleted my account, but nobody's texted me yet to tell me when it's happening. So I'm like, I'm tempted in the next week or so to have to like reactivate and just see if somebody put something there for when we start up again.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's immediately just going to be me deactivating right after I find whatever I want because I'm like, absolutely not am I keeping this around.
Yeah.
But then there are times where your wife, my other friends, oh yeah, I forgot to invite you because you don't have Facebook, and I'm like, okay, I don't really care. That was I think the joke partially with Aiden's birthday was like, oh, I completely forgot to invite you because whatever. And I'm like, if you hadn't invited me, I also have just been like, okay,
yeah,
I wasn't bent out of shape about any part of it. It was just the.
Like, it'd be nice. I thought for there was a hot minute there where I thought that we were getting away from Facebook, but I feel like the claws are in so deep now that
if
it's going to be a lot more painful of a transition, and something far superior is going to have to come along.
Yes, the hooks are for sure in, and if you don't have so here's the joke for me, right? My group of friends, which is not many, majority of us either will talk over everything else.
Yeah.
I'll either message people over Discord, Snap, text messaging, whatever it needs to be. But we don't talk on Facebook.
Yeah.
And to this day, even when we all had it, or when I had it, we didn't talk on there anyway.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't messaging you on Facebook.
Yeah,
So,
the only people that ever talked to me on Facebook was people who like didn't have my cell phone number or my mom, which I broke her of the habit. So
yeah.
anyways,
so, unless you have enough. Sorry, I need.
No, it's all right.
I need to take a sip. Unless you have enough people that are willing, quote, willing to accept that you want to move away from it, and be like, listen, it's done.
Yeah,
that's it. But I know that for some people that their text solution is Messenger, and I'm like, just don't use Messenger. And they're like, we've always used it. I'm like, okay, so you have a bad habit, whatever. But hey, It works for them. Live your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just will never, ever, ever, ever permanently return to that place. It's evil. I will use it to get information and then run away.
Number 4. NetEase has acquired French developer Quantic Dream for an undisclosed sum. The studio will continue to operate independently. Under the full ownership of NetEase, the developer becomes the Chinese giant's first studio in Europe, and a key part of its new parent's global expansion strategy. Quantic Dream also has a foothold in Montreal, having opened a studio there last year. The studio is best known for titles such as Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls. It is currently working on Star Wars Eclipse. Allegedly.
As with any project that's currently Star Wars, allegedly.
I'm kind of I guess I'm not surprised by NetEase buying another developer. I just kind of assumed that if anyone was going to buy them, it was going to be Sony.
Agreed. Yeah. If we were putting odds down, I would have had Sony as the favorite.
It's kind of obvious, makes sense. All 3 of those games that are listed were Sony exclusives initially.
Exactly. Which is where you would have put the money down.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense of NetEase just buying because NetEase.
Yeah, NetEase. Global expansion.
Thing. Speaking of Sony, though, number 5, Sony Interactive Entertainment and Sixjoy Hong Kong, a subsidiary of Tencent, have acquired new shares in Japanese studio From Software. Sixjoy, Tencent, has bought 16.25% of shares in the Dark Souls developer, while Sony has taken a 14.09% stake. Of course they did. Of course they took a 0.09 stake. FromSoft's parent company, Kadokawa Corporation, will retain the remaining 69.66% of shares. The company said that it chose to allocate shares to Tencent because of its efforts to promote, quote, media mix strategy targeting the Chinese market, end quote, and highlighting the firm's capabilities to develop and deploy mobile games and other network technologies, which it hopes to levy to increase From Software's user base. Which means From Software is looking at the mobile market, doing the old man behind the tree meme.
Yep. Exactly. I had the same thought where I was like, that forbidden fruit got you tempting.
I like the idea of just of the mobile market being forbidden fruit. It's true though.
It kind of is.
Once you bite it,
it corrupts you. That's it.
fucking Eve.
God damn it, Eve.
Give me back my rib.
Oh, good stuff.
Can you be agnostic and also make Adam and Eve? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like fables, you know.
It's just a story.
Yeah.
Random theological jabs and questions. Don't mind us.
It's fascinating. Religion is fascinating.
It is fascinating. It is fascinating because it's fascinating currently for all the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah,
It's fascinating historically for a lot of wrong reasons.
mm-hmm.
But there are some interesting ones. There's never a good reason it's fascinating, if we're being honest.
No. I mean, it's
The only time it's good fascinating is when literally it's getting formed.
yes, yeah. That's exactly kind of it. How it like became such a thing.
And then the moment that it's semi-established, not even fully established, semi-established, it's
Death.
ruined.
Yeah,
Immediately ruined.
Chaos. Yeah, good stuff. Good.
This guy told me to go kill my son on a mountain.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Wait a second.
He was testing me. You think the guy that can do whatever he wants and just create anything at every given point is going to test you by killing your... Okay.
Cheers.
Power to you.
Let's see.
Tell you what, I'm
here.
going to get bored in a plague of locusts. And then take lamb's blood and smear it on your...
Yeah. Firstborn, what, son? Firstborn's are gone.
Not even... This doesn't even discuss the Mormon thing of looking at a bag of tablets and then being the only person to read... like modern attempted creation and religions, which are essentially cults.
They're all
Just without the suicide.
They're all cults. It's just craziness.
Speaking of cults, Cult of the
Good game, I guess.
Yeah, apparently it got a lot of good reviews and a lot of people really liked it.
Did you play it or no?
No, I didn't play it.
It's not on Game Pass, is it?
No, it's not, but I don't think it's also a game I would enjoy. I think it's one where I would enjoy watching it. Like, I enjoy watching somebody kind of do Binding of Isaac, but I don't enjoy playing.
It's not like Binding of Isaac, though. That's the kind of thing that shocked me. That,
so it isn't like when you go to do like a dungeon, it's that kind of like, combat.
yeah, but
thing
apparently
or
it's really easy.
Apparently, yeah, it's not the difficulty scale of that, sure.
Yeah,
I just mean like there's a lot of times where even doing those like some of that dungeon crawl stuff, like I enjoy Enter the Gungeon, but only for so long.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea is that, like, they basically built it to, like, the least common denominator. So, like, it has a lot of these mechanics that we associate with more hardcore games,
True.
but they're not.
Yeah.
They're watered down for the mainstream.
And hey, every now and then, sure, if I was going to do it, would you get in the... Would I name you as one of my followers? Of course. Would I make you eat poop? You bet your ass I would.
All right.
I'm just telling you how it is.
And then he'd probably murder me and then,
If I could
resurrect me just to do it all over again.
If I could do exactly that, murder you, resurrect you, and then just round 2, you would never die, except for about the 5 minutes where you were dead.
Yeah. Just be eating shit and dying.
Duke Nukem,
Rinse, repeat.
A Duke Nukem enemy's life. Eat shit and die.
Number 6. Strategy studio Direwolf Digital has acquired Cortex, a tabletop role-playing games business owned by Fandom. Cortex is made by the creators of D&D Beyond and gives players the tools to build their own customized stories, worlds, and characters with a set of rules similar to Dungeons & Dragons. As part of the deal, Direwolf Digital will also acquire Tales of Exadia?
I'm going to say Zadia.
Zadia. All right.
I also thought you were going for Eczema at first.
Maybe, I don't know.
But
the Dragon Prince role-playing game based on the Netflix series The Dragon Prince. So this whatever this Fandom company is, which sounds semi-familiar. Apparently they're trying to get out of the tabletop RPG game, like the tabletop RPG industry, if that is such a thing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. D&D Beyond is a pretty good tool, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll really... Here's the thing. I haven't heard of Dragon Prince.
I've only heard of it because I've come across it on Netflix.
Okay. So maybe there is an audience that cares about that. Just hopefully that, the Dire Wolf thing doesn't really change too much for Cortex.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing is they wanted Cortex, it sounds like, and to get it, they had to also buy the Dragon Prince thing. So I guess Cortex sounds cool.
Yeah. If you're a DM, it's probably a great tool.
Yeah.
And if you're me, who's kind of just burned on D&D, you don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like D&D is at some. Well, I mean, it kind of had like a resurgence of sorts.
Over the
year
pandemic.
Ago.
Well, over the pandemic, it definitely did because people were playing online. Yada,
Yeah.
yada. And like people, there's still a bunch of people that play, and a lot of people that like playing and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I've reached my breaking point, I think, for other reasons, and I need to full step away.
Did Albatross. Oh yeah, didn't I had it. It was already connected in my brain.
Everywhere I go, I see that fucking bird. Number 7. A team of Riot Games veterans have launched Sprocket Games, which announced that it has landed $5 million in seed funding. The studio said it is making a cross-platform social adventure game that will make use of the team's prior experience with online multiplayer titles like League of Legends, Valorant, and EVE Online. What? Sprocket is also pitching itself as a progressive studio, quote, that enables and encourages employees to bring their whole selves to work, end quote. That, with healthcare covering the needs of transgender and non-binary people. I know what they mean, but it's just so funny to me to hear them say to bring their whole selves to work.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I understand what they mean, but all I can picture is that people are only walking in with like half of like one leg, but because they chose to, not because it's like they have it amputated or anything. They're just like, I'm not bringing my left leg today.
I don't feel like it. I never liked it in the first place.
It if anything, it hampered me.
I immediately went to furries for some reason.
Okay.
Like, bring your whole self, and they're like,
so you're just picturing people sitting in their full furry suit, just coding away.
Yep.
That would get hot.
Oh yeah. Hot and weird.
It's also funny that they mention EVE Online in their experience when they're like, yeah, League and Valorant, and then EVE Online, and I'm like, one of those things is not like the other.
Just mash that game up, and what do you get?
A spreadsheet shooter MOBA.
I can't even picture what that looked like.
I can picture a shooter MOBA because it's basically you just take all the people that don't shoot out of League. There you go.
Yeah.
Put it on a non-fantasy map and put it in like a school.
Mm-hmm.
Too soon?
Hold on a minute. Oh.
And then spreadsheets because you have to figure out the police budget to not go into the building.
Oh my god. All right.
Am I going too far?
There it is. Can't expend the bullets. We don't have that type of income. I get to read the big boy. Chonk. Chonk news.
Chonky.
Number 8. The Competition and Markets Authority, in a Phase 1 ruling, has decided that Microsoft's record-breaking acquisition of Activision Blizzard may affect competition within the UK. As a result, the deal is expected to be referred for an in-depth Phase 2 investigation unless both Microsoft and Activision, quote, offer acceptable undertakings to address these competition concerns, end quote. The UK regulator concluded that the completion of the merger could affect competition in 2 ways. The first being the deal could see Microsoft withholding or degrading Activision Blizzard's content from other consoles or subscription services. And number 2 being Microsoft could leverage its broader ecosystem together with Activision's catalog to raise barriers to entry and foreclose rivals in cloud gaming services. The ruling also highlights that Microsoft having control over franchises such as Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush may result in the firm, quote, harming consumers by impairing Sony's, Microsoft's closest gaming rival, ability to compete, end quote. Activision Blizzard has shared a letter sent to all employees by CEO Bobby Kotick, commenting on the CMA's decision. Kotick said the company still expects the deal to go through by the end of Microsoft's fiscal year, which will be June 30th, 2023, adding that the acquisition has, quote, already received approvals from a couple of countries, end quote, and the process with other regulators is, quote, generally moving along as we expected, end quote. And as a small addendum, Phil Spencer did reiterate publicly that well, I think the idea was they signed a letter that they sent to Sony basically saying, we will promise to keep Call of Duty on Sony PlayStation for several years outside of our already agreed to contract. So they're, you know.
Here's always, again, we're beating a dead horse on this story.
Yeah.
The rulings also highlight that Microsoft having control over franchises such as Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush may result in the firm harming consumers by impairing Sony's. No, false. One of those franchises. Sony has absolutely no say in World of Warcraft currently, or Candy Crush.
I think that one is
regardless of the purchase. Those are just the 3 biggest money makers sitting in ABK's account. But the 2 of those 3 literally don't affect Sony regardless of what happens.
No. I mean, I think they're just kind of like lumping it all together.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the problem. Because, like, the first 2 points make more sense. Like, when they refer to cloud gaming services.
Again, hysterical.
And,
because is that... Think about it.
Well, we're going to be on opposite sides of the spectrum.
No, we're not.
Again.
We're going to be right on the same side. Who's their competition in cloud gaming? Actual cloud gaming.
I don't know. Is there competition?
There you go. So problem solved.
I mean, that's the point they're making, though. It's like
right, but there's already not a competition.
So
why you can't make one out of thin air and say you're going to damage the competition when there already isn't one? Because your competition would be Stadia.
This is the UK, though. So, like, if you're going by those standards, then they definitely won't they will not approve the merger because.
But then their logic is flawed.
It's not flawed.
Yes, it is.
It's not. All right, you're thinking US mindset, UK mindset,
thinking logic.
UK mindset. There's no Well, there's no logic. Logic, I guess, it depends on your point of view. Because I guess if you say it doesn't exist, there's nothing to protect. But their point of view is the barrier to entry. Like they want competition to be able to happen, even if there is none currently.
Right. So to that event,
mm-hmm.
I would propose to them this situation. Your competitors that Microsoft steamrolled over that came out first was Google Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Stadia is crushed because, one, it sucks. It's not even a matter of the issue for me when it comes to the cloud gaming. Like, this is just a cloud gaming argument. This isn't even like a protection of competition argument.
Yeah.
Is no one else spare NVIDIA and GeForce Now. They're the only other ones that actually have a reasonable like latency playtime where it's understandable. Like where you can,
which I wouldn't even say it's a competitor because it's not.
It's not
None
an actual,
of it's exclusive. It's just kind
Exactly.
of there.
But I mean, like, that's the other actual cloud gaming, like, works 100%, does what it should.
Yeah.
Stadia doesn't, and it never has. Luna's the other option, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's just not anywhere near as good.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it matter? I get it. You're correct, and they're trying to not prevent
Another player from.
Right. They want to have.
They're not trying
somebody
to
else,
stifle.
Yeah, they want to have somebody else be able to show up in the competition. The issue is there's already not going to be the people you want to show up are already there.
Mm-hmm.
Sony is clearly not bothering because they should have tried 2 years ago, and they've had the technology. They literally bought the ones that have done it, and then they sandbagged all of it. And they are on record as saying they don't see it that way going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell do they give a shit then? If you're Sony and you don't think that's a way forward, are you really trying to stop your competition from putting all the resources into it? Because either A, you're lying to yourself, or B, you actually believe it.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because, like, if you go by their standards, they can't agree to the merger. But they can't really go by their standards either because of the argument you're making, essentially, to where it's like there's no reason not to, especially considering Microsoft's approach is their general approach has not been to hurt the consumer, which is what they care about.
Yeah.
They're saying we want to put all of our stuff on everything.
Right.
Which is
they would literally,
consumer friendly.
They would literally I would not be surprised if they wanted to just like drop grenades on any of these committees and be like, I want to put Game Pass on PlayStation, but they won't let me.
Yeah.
So I want to still share all these things, but they're being bitches about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just watch the committee slowly turn over and they're like, is that true? Are you guys stifling competition because you won't let them?
It's in here. Okay.
Like you won't let them have fun on your console? And they're like, that's not what. No. It's like that's what it sounds like. Actually, it sounds a lot like you guys are trying to be anti-competitive. No.
Which there's a story that we will get to later that actually reinforces Microsoft's consumer-friendly approach. I don't want to say, "Oh yeah, Microsoft, nice company, loves you."
No,
that's not the case.
fair,
But they are more consumer-friendly.
Yes, and I think this is the other part where it comes from me and having this support of Microsoft and the vitriol of PlayStation. PlayStation still does very, very good things when they make very good games.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft hasn't really made a good game in a long time.
No.
But here's the issue. Sony shoots themselves in the foot by opening their mouth consistently. Microsoft has Phil Spencer, which makes everything better.
Yeah, it's kind of true, though. It's
every time Sony opens their mouth, it's the equivalent of the younger sibling complaining that the older sibling, like, every time they see somebody take a cookie, they're like, he took a cookie out of the cookie jar. And you're like, guys, you could have also taken a cookie. You're just as capable as I am of taking a cookie.
The way I see it is like Sony's like an old Japanese man. And they've done the same. His family has run the same hot springs for 1,000 years.
I was going to say,
they've always done things the same way.
I was going to say they are the uncle from Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Where they refuse to bend the rules in order to make things work.
Exactly. And then you got young whippersnapper Microsoft coming in and being like, we got all these good ideas.
He's like,
we're going to bring the internet to the hot springs. We're going to put Wi-Fi in. And we're going to let all the people stream shit while they're sitting in their hot tubs and blah, blah, blah.
For a better user experience, we'll have high speeds. You'll have more people here. It'll be a great thing. You'll make a lot more money.
We'll have fountain soda.
And then there's just that moment where Sony's like, but that's not what it's about.
Exactly. And Microsoft's like, you're crazy. Sony's like, that's not how we do it in the ancient Japanese hot springs.
Yeah. And so what you would end up with is the one ancient Japanese hot spring, and next to it is the megaplex of Japanese hot springs.
Exactly.
Japanese hot springs X, with just a bunch of RGB lights everywhere.
Exactly.
And,
Glad we could summarize that for you.
and basically, like you've seen the karaoke rooms, right?
Yeah.
To know what I'm going to reference, where it's a room that's about this size or smaller, depending on the party size, but they're like soundproof booths essentially
Mm-hmm.
that you can go in and sing karaoke in.
Yeah.
It's that, but hot springs.
Exactly.
You have your own personal hot spring. You go in, have a group, and listen to music.
It's all electronic. You want to order some food, you tap
Yep.
on the pad, and
Waiter, waitress brings it in, and,
mm-hmm.
which that brings me to the karaoke thing specifically. There was a clip from Twitter that I don't know if somebody was like live streaming them on a date in a karaoke booth or whatever, but the guy is singing. Oh my god! Why am I'm blanking on the name of the System of a Down song.
Chop Suey.
Yes, he's singing Chop Suey.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see this?
No.
He's singing Chop Suey, and the waitress is bringing their food in,
Uh-huh.
and he doesn't stop. So he's in the middle of the drop where he's screaming, and then and his girlfriend or whatever she is just sitting there and like head in her hand, like I can't believe this is happening right now because he is rocking out.
Oh yeah.
And she's like tucked in, dropping off food, and she's like, thank you. It's just hysterical to watch.
Like, thank you, please leave.
Yeah, just like, I'm so sorry.
Great.
And he's rocking out.
Having a good time. Can't blame him.
Number 9, Riot Games has announced a partnership with charity Take This to support the mental health of players and content creators, which is a weird name when you think about it.
Take this.
Take This helped and like it.
Exactly.
Riot provided Take This with a grant leading to the creation of a program designed to give casual and professional streamers practical tools to support their own well-being. Several modules will be released, developed by Take This's clinical experts, Dr. Kelly Dunlap and Dr. Rafael Bacamazzo.
Good
Bocamazzo,
names.
I like. I love that last name.
Got some pizzazz to it.
Anyway, with the first already available on Take This's website, and focusing on the topic of burnout in content creation. The partnership between Riot and Take This will also take the form of 6 panel discussions focusing on mental health in marginalized communities, particularly Black, Latin, Indigenous, Trans, East Asian, and Southeast Asian identities. The first video dedicated to the experience of Black communities is already available on YouTube. Riot trying to whatever they can to make you forget about their past.
Yep. Yupper doodles.
Don't look in the closet. Just a lot of weird skeletons.
The old skeleton in the closets. As per tradition, the next Assassin's Creed game has leaked. And it looks like rumors and leaks from earlier are, in fact, true. Assassin's Creed Mirage, which will be the next entry in the long-running series by Ubisoft, will return. And okay, that's a weird sentence. I don't know why I wrote it that way. It'll be returning to series basics, doing away with most of the role-playing game mechanics introduced in the most recent entries in the series. In a new video shared by Jonathan, who proved to be quite reliable regarding AC series leaks, revealed some new details on the game that was previously known as Assassin's Creed Rift. The game will star Basim as his youth, and will be set between 860 and 870 in Baghdad. With the return to the basics, they'll include removal of mechanics like dialogue choices, gender selection, and leveling systems.
Just to be clear, when I hear we're returning to the basics, not the first 3 things I thought we were ripping out.
No, dude, we're going straight back to action. I don't even know what are they called. Action adventure.
All right, can't wait to run around Jerusalem again.
Yep, nailed it. Generally, gameplay will be different from that of AC Valhalla, and with new animations. Interestingly, it seems like Assassin's Creed Mirage won't be the only entry in the series to release in the near future. According to Jonathan, Ubisoft is working on a remake of the original Assassin's Creed, which will reuse a large part of the assets of Mirage and the upcoming Infinity, and that will be integrated into Season Pass.
I'm so annoyed. Keep going.
Confused?
No, annoyed.
Official announcements are expected to be made on September 10th during the Ubisoft Forward event.
I'm annoyed because they're making this confusing for anybody else.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh,
and it's
Mirage.
an excuse. Mirage is clearly an excuse because Infinite, or what's it called? Infinity? Infinity is not ready, won't be ready, and they are like, we need to have something. So they are literally slapping together Mirage, and the only reason why they're stripping out all these systems is so they don't have to fucking make them. So they're just like, strip it all out, just make it like 15-hour action adventure game, and we'll just tell them, we'll say it's a feature and not a bug.
Yeah, we'll move all that work into Infinity.
Yep. It's
all those things will immediately be back in Infinity when they can say, oh, we heard you. We put it all back in. It's like,
yeah,
you never took it out, you sons of bitches.
They're going to be like, it's a feature. It's like the first game. You just run around and collect things.
Which then, oh, cool. If there's actually true that they're working on a remake of the original Assassin's Creed, which, cool, I would like that. Just like, if they...
I would take a remake. Mirage would be cool if it did go back to the roots and like it wasn't straight up like fighting. It was like you had to be stealthy and it would punish you if you were not stealthy.
Mirage would be an awesome name for something where Basim is in the Animus reliving AC1.
Yeah.
Because he's using Altair's memories in order to figure out where something is.
That is a good idea.
So you get to play all of
all of Asim.
You get to play all of Assassin's Creed 1, upscaled, like redone into all these new engines, and it's just called Mirage only because instead of playing Desmond, you're playing Basim reliving it all. Yeah. That's why it's a Mirage. Like, okay, cool, that's all fine, and then you lead into Infinity.
Yeah.
But nope, we're going to make this way harder and stupider than we could because our name is Ubisoft. And we are French.
There, so I gotta say, dude, all right, so they have Skull and Bones coming out, which obviously looks like hot garbage.
And also, to be fair, so before you continue in shitting on them, because I want you to continue on shitting on them, but the remake of Assassin's Creed, which will reuse a large part of the assets of Mirage, which therefore means it should come out after Mirage, and reuse assets from Infinity, which means it comes out after Infinity, also means that it will be integrated into a season pass, which means the battle pass for Infinity at a later date. What the...
My guess is that...
my idea makes so much more sense. Just use that.
I mean, my assumption is that they took a ton of Valhalla assets and are reusing those to make Infinite, and then like modifying them.
I think that mixed with Odyssey.
Yep, and then they also are developing new stuff for it as well. And then they're like, we need something, so they're like, let's take some of the new stuff we made and we'll make Assassin's Creed Mirage. And then like anything that we have to develop for Assassin's Creed Mirage will feed back into Infinite. And then we'll use all of that. Like they're like building a library essentially and using bits and pieces.
Right, but they're building a library while trying to write a novel.
Yes. Yeah. But what I was going to say real quick is that they have Skull and Bones coming out, which obviously looks terrible, was in development hell, and if it has a 3% chance of being a good game.
Out of?
100%.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm just giving it. I feel like 3% is generous.
Which I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
This might surprise you. I would give it a higher percent chance.
I would too. I mean, I'm exaggerating. I would say legitimately, it probably has like a 30% chance of being a good game.
What do you think? Because it should be out in the next 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Should be.
Should be. If we predict this review score now, what do we think it is? Not the critic review score, not the user review score.
I'm gonna go with, I think the general critical review score would be like a 5 or a 6, maybe. My range would be 4 to 6, because my assumption is, based on what we've seen critical reviews of previous games that were in rough shape, they give them the benefit of the doubt.
Mine is 5.5 to 6.5.
Yeah, they always give them the benefit of the doubt. So like, they'll say it's a 6 when really they should probably give it a 4, and then when you get the user scores, it'll be like a 3.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so they have Skull and Bones coming out. It's not going to be good. And then this Assassin's Creed stuff sounds like a nightmare. And I feel like Ubisoft's already kind of in a bad position.
Division.
Yeah. They're already
more bad decisions.
They're already in a bad position. If Skull and Bones comes out, it does terrible. Everyone kind of expected that.
Yes.
I think so. Everyone will be like, well, that's not good, but whatever.
It's the balls on them to continue it.
Yeah. And then Assassin's Creed.
A show on HBO.
If Assassin's Creed comes out, whichever one comes out, and it doesn't do well, they're going to be like, there's going to be fucking blood in the water at that point. Like, they're going to, I feel like, almost obligated to sell.
There should already be blood in the water. Like, everybody should be staring at them going, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're seconds away. Let's see if you save yourself. Or if you become available for $3 million.
I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility, and I think it would be sad in a way, obviously, nostalgia, whatever, but it would be interesting is if they got to the point where, you know, whatever investor nonsense happens, whatever happens to where, like, the Guillemot family has to bow out, if they sell off chunks of Ubisoft. Like, if it becomes defunct...
Like studios or IPs? Or...
Yeah, like, if it becomes essentially defunct and they start selling chunks off, like the Guillemot family keeps, like, a couple studios, and essentially Ubisoft continues on as, like, a small...
I think that would be a terrible idea.
But then, like, you know, whoever buys Assassin's Creed, whoever buys Division, whoever buys, like... If they just got split up.
Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
That's the issue with the Division.
Yeah.
Is it's a Tom Clancy thing, so the Tom Clancy estate gets to say in a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But if they're selling off Tom Clancy, you know, rights or whatever, and the family or the estate is, if they get a cut, they're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, we'll take it.
Well, they'd get a cut. It would just be a matter of, like, essentially them probably saying, because they technically probably paid for the license.
Yeah, and they probably get royalties, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean I'm sure Ubisoft paid them for the license, then royalties. So if they just broke off the thing, it would be like, you can go take a Tom Clancy game to whoever you want to go talk to.
Yeah,
like you have the studios here that are doing that, but like we're not going to have them anymore. I would.
It's just food for thought that, like, that could. I mean, that's not outside the realm of possibility based on how things are going in the industry.
My $5 bet.
Yeah,
Ubisoft is sold within a year from right now.
Yeah, I mean, odds are, I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be like a Chinese company. It's gonna be Tencent or NetEase, or someone's gonna come in and be like, "Hey, we want to buy this for a stupid amount of money."
I got money on Embracer.
I mean, it would be funny. It'd be like part of the meme, I guess, that we have for Embracer. But like,
it would, but they also already have like a strong European purchasing.
Yeah, that's true. But that's a lot. Like, they've spent a lot of money. Like, what? Yeah, it's got to stop at some point. You know what I mean?
Ubisoft's going to go for less than half of what Bethesda went for.
Yeah, it's going to go for like $3 billion.
Yeah, it's plummeting.
So, I mean,
especially if they do a split sale like that.
Yeah.
EA's looking to get sold, so I could see EA being bought by NetEase or Tencent first.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Ubisoft getting bought by Amazon.
That's or you know what would be interesting?
Because as much as Amazon would love to own EA, and they could try to own both, they could 100% buy both of them.
But based on the trends that Amazon's setting for games they're interested in, Ubisoft would
makes
make
more
more sense. The only other player that I think would be
Amazon or EA is just easy because if you're Amazon, you go, oh, we have Twitch and microtransactions are kind of our thing. EA.
There's two other dark horse picks for grabbing Ubisoft.
All right.
Warner Brothers.
Which would be interesting given their current track record of attempting to jump in.
Yes. And Disney.
Also true.
Yeah.
Both definitions of dark horse.
Yeah.
But with both reasons to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we work in the industry.
There's sometimes when we like have these conversations though where I'm like, we know enough. Too much. Like
yeah. It's the mix of we know too much and then at the same time where it's like now that I've said something, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's just
the trick is you gotta say multiple things, so then it's like
basis.
It's gotta figure itself out.
Yeah, but it's always the way that like the whole joke of do I control the universe or not when I speak something into existence.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do we really want that?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've cursed this yet because I think that's a pretty obvious one. Number 11, after a leak revealed Xbox Game Pass friends and family branding over the weekend, Microsoft has gone official with its new plan and revealed its pricing in Ireland and Colombia, the two largest markets. The new subscription will allow Xbox Game Pass members to share up to 4 other friends or family members at €22 per month in Ireland, which would be 22 US. Hey, we're 1-to-1. 22 US in 22 American dollars in the US. Microsoft isn't restricting this new Game Pass plan just to family members, and the only restriction is that people who are added to the friends and family plan need to be in the same country. That's pretty lax restrictions.
Yeah.
I guess it makes up for the friends, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Microsoft is currently testing this new Xbox Game Pass friends and family plan in Ireland and Colombia, as I said fucking 3 sentences ago, with more regions possibly being added next month. Switching to the plan does mean adjusting the time remaining on your previous plan, and Microsoft will perform a conversion to the friends and family plan. So, hey, you got friends and family that all want to go in, like you guys all share Spotify and Netflix accounts, boom, Game Pass.
Yeah. I mean, that would be 4 people.
4 people
at $5 a month, roughly. Little over $5 a month.
$5.50 specifically.
Yeah, the guests
in which version is that?
I'm pretty sure it's just the ultimate tier, like the top tier.
Which, if that is the top tier, which is normally $15 a month, period. Why on this earth would you not buy that? Oh, I could knock my price down to a third of what I pay right now. I just have to find 3 other people that also like to play games.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this one a little bit, see what actually is the deal with this. But the assumption is that it's $22 in Ireland, which the euro and the US dollar have a 1-to-1 conversion right now. But the assumption is that in the US it'll be $25, which is whatever.
That's still cheaper.
Yep.
If you had 4 people paying for Ultimate individually,
right? So if it's not Ultimate and it's just Game Pass,
I'm out.
What's Game Pass now a month?
I wanted to say 10.
So it's still a good deal, but it's
still a good deal. But I want Ultimate.
Yeah,
because I want the PC part of it, and this doesn't include that, I believe. Unless you're Ultimate.
Yeah. All right, we'll have to see. Just got leaked, announced, whatever. So
there's a chance that's an amazing deal.
There is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because that's been Microsoft's whole MO is like they just want market share. They just want people. Yeah. I mean, how many times do they run $1 a month deal? It's
Too much because I paid $1 for 3 months,
yeah, it's still,
and my deal runs out in like mid-September.
which you'll probably come across another one by then. So
Oh, I'm just gonna unsub, and then by November I will have a new one.
yeah, yeah.
It's funny because I talked to my one guy at work, and him and I will discuss games or whatever. He's the one I discuss F1 with, and I'm like, yeah, just sign up for Game Pass for like $1 or whatever, and then play whatever I need to, and then get out of it. He's like, how many times do they offer you the $1 thing? And I was like, too many. That's like generically too many.
Oh yeah, it's
All the time. I've never paid. I think maybe once or twice I paid full dollar amount, and it was after the dollar ended, and I just wasn't finished with the game or whatever.
Yeah. It's not
Which doesn't happen often for me, because if I know I'm coming up on the deadline, I will end that game.
Silly stuff. Now on to the short things.
Like my,
That's what I was gonna say, but I was like, oh.
we both immediately went self-deprecation.
Over 265,000 people from more than 100 countries attended Gamescom 2022.
It's a lot of people.
Brace Yourself Games announced that it's launched a new publishing division, Brace Yourself Publishing. Very original. Brace Yourself Games has released titles such as Phantom Brigade, Crypt of the Necrodancer, and Cadence of Hyrule.
Rhythm Games.
Riot Games has announced that it's officially appointed Andre Van Roon as head of League Studios. He originally joined Riot in 2011. During his career, he's held positions such as champion designer, core gameplay lead designer, and game director for League of Legends. That's a good trajectory.
That's pretty good.
And that's neat to see them stick someone in charge who has
Been around,
worked on the shit that he's in charge of. So weird tactic.
Oh man, bold move constantly paid off.
The Pokemon Company is suing a half dozen Chinese companies over a mobile game it says is infringing on its copyrights. Standard Chinese operating procedure.
Standard Chinese Pokemon copyright procedure.
Yep.
It's both things are true.
Data.ai reports that League of Legends Wild Rift has amassed over $750 million in global player spending.
And you guys thought Diablo Immortal was bad.
Those forbidden fruit.
Again, I think Diablo Immortal hit that, not the 750 number, but hit 100 million probably faster than Wild Rift did.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, I think that's over 2 years it's been out.
About that, yeah. And yeah, I mean, forbidden fruit.
Yeah, it is what it is. We've lost that battle. Management simulator Domina has been delisted from Steam after developer Dolphin Barn Interactive used the platform to share a transphobic outburst via news posts on their Steam page.
All right. Well, I wanted to say I liked your name, but now you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
How do you have Dolphin Barn as your name and share transphobic shit? How?
Based on what I read, I think I'm not sure. It probably was genuine, but I think part of it was they were trying to be
edgy
and funny.
Oh god, not the place to do it, you idiot. Also, don't do it if you're a company.
Yeah. Netflix is, speaking of pieces of shit, Netflix's Resident Evil series has been canceled a little over a month after its initial debut.
That was an interesting one to see. I was like, and it's out, and it's gone.
Yep. Speaking of more pieces of shit, Halo Infinite remains a dumpster fire. Local co-op has been canceled.
Cool, it's not a Halo game anymore. Whee!
Online co-op, Forge, and other features have been delayed, but they have a release date now. November 8th. no one's gonna fucking play it because they're gonna be like, well, we're over this.
How do you not launch with this shit? How?
I don't know. I do not know.
It's funny to see the end of Halo like this.
You know what's really fascinating? Is it almost feels like, and like I'm fascinated by the ties of 343 Industries and Bungie, because Destiny and Destiny 2 and Halo Infinite seem to have the same fucking problems with their inability to update the game and make changes with the game engine.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what they like. Their design, I'm assuming their design philosophies are very, very similar. And if you looked at like the way that the engines or the games are created, yeah, it's probably really, really similar.
So I would agree with you to a point, but at this point, I would be looking at Bungie and going, well, at least for the most part, you guys shipped a quote complete game.
Yeah.
Whether there's balance issues or whatever else,
Mm-hmm.
you actually shipped me the game.
Yeah.
343 went, no.
Yeah.
You'll get features at a certain point. And by the way, if you look at their roadmap, there are things that are coming out in November that they have listed as beta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this stuff I think is considered beta as
Like,
well.
What the fuck? I would love, and we'll never get it, but I would love the documentary of how the hell this went to shit.
It's kind of bizarre. Isn't it bizarre how like
How
much
bad it is?
how much money and like studios and stuff like that Microsoft has dumped into just all of their studios and stuff like that. They seem to be like leaving 343 Industries to just kind of like
Do it. Just we don't want you anymore.
yeah, just they're like letting them like fucking dig their own graves essentially.
It is unbelievable to me that no one has that it was signed off on to launch in its state. 2, that it got, probably my guess is, rebuilt from the ground up probably 3 times before we saw it the first time when everybody complained, and then they delayed it a year.
Mm-hmm.
But to be as bold as to come out a year later and say, here we go, it's Halo time, baby, woo, let's go, yeah. And then at the same breath go, but we're not bothering with the Forge, there's no local co-op, there's no, yeah, and we're just dumping online co-op. It's like, what are you actually releasing? Because if they had not released a campaign, right?
Mm.
Let's put it this way: when they released the Lone Wolf multiplayer stuff, and it was just that, it was like, hey, here's free Halo Infinite multiplayer. If they only do that, none of this is an issue.
Yeah.
People are like, oh man, are you guys gonna make a single player game? And they're just kind of like, no, we want to just keep a shooter alive, but we're kind of stuck with not telling you the story anymore. Like we're we're done. Either we're done, or if something strikes us and we come to a point where we do want to do it, we want to make sure we do it right. And then you have a live service team that is meant to just keep making maps and guns and everything for the actual multiplayer side of it. And then you have another team that is fully set on making a correct and working single player plus co-op Halo in the way that everybody has ever wanted it. Hire more people? Sure, probably would have to, but you can't, as Microsoft...
Microsoft has so many studios now, they could have
Exactly.
just assigned a couple studios to it.
But you can't, as Microsoft, have your baby getting dragged through the mud like an actual piece of shit that it currently is.
Yeah, I mean, my pie in the sky, like, what my hope is that Microsoft is planning is that they're going, in a year from now, when all of the shit is out for Halo that people have been waiting for, like Forge and co-op and all that nonsense, and it's had time to settle down and no one really gives a shit about Halo anymore, you'll just see like a suspiciously large amount of people going to other studios or retirements or step
like
downs.
343 becoming a skeleton crew.
Yeah, I think essentially a lot of the management at 343 will probably be moved around or forced out or whatever, and new people will come in and then whatever. Because that seems to be the management approach that Microsoft's going with, basically, where they're hands off for the most part, but we're getting to the point now where like we've cycled through everyone's first game.
All your hands off stuff has hurt you now in this specific instance.
Yeah, so like the studios that have not handled the hands off approach will
now get the hands on approach.
Yeah, they'll get the leash put around their neck.
It gets the hose again.
Yeah, it gets the hose again, exactly. Where was I? 10 Chambers Collective, the Tencent-owned Swedish indie studio behind GTFO, has revealed to be working on a cooperative heist-themed first-person shooter game for its next project.
Interesting.
Yep.
Heists are fun.
They are fun. When they are like... When they are complex enough, they are a fucking
They need to
blast.
be complex enough, but not too complex.
Yeah. There's got to be
Sweet
stages, and there's got to be enough leeway to where shenanigans can take place.
Yeah. I don't want to have to get too far to the point where I'm having to tell everybody in my ear to shut the hell up while I'm cracking the safe.
Yeah.
Because I actually need to hear the pins move.
Hangar 13 confirmed that it is working on the next Mafia game, but it is in very early development.
Which is a scary premise. Because for anybody that's not aware, the remasters and remakes of Mafia were shit.
And the game that they were working on was canceled.
And Mafia 3, as much as I enjoyed the game, had a lot of issues at launch.
Yeah.
And had bad gameplay because the AI was dumb, so you could literally just sit on a corner and they would all run at you. And what was the other? Oh, the other issue I had was there wasn't a diversity of side missions. Your side missions all became basically the same. Get this from here to here, and it's always on the other end of town. That's just all it was.
Sadness.
But I loved the story. I thought the story itself was actually really good, just that the gameplay was kind of lacking a little bit.
Sons of the Forest has been delayed again, this time from October to February 23rd.
As sad as I am to hear that, because I'm looking forward to when Kenny and I can play that, I'm just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not in my, give me it now. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
But then again, that's just how I am, I think
we're all numb to game delays now, so.
The only time I am not numb to a game delay is with a game called WoW.
Hogwarts Legacy's marketing train is picking up steam,
which is hysterical, given the fact that they delayed it.
Yes. They released videos. They released 5 videos today. 4 being tours of the House Common Rooms.
I did see that.
And then the 5th being a trailer about dark arts and dark magic.
It just seemed weird to me. It almost seemed like they were scheduled videos or scheduled tweets.
Yeah.
That somebody forgot to unschedule or delay for 2 months.
Because the crazy thing is these are the most recent ones, but they've been releasing videos all along. So it's almost like what you're saying seems correct, where they were like, here's our marketing schedule. And then that department never got the news that the game was delayed.
Yeah, because if they were still launching in October, which was the initial date, fall window, whatever, I think it was going to be October. You're ramping to a point where you would be putting out content every week with new ads, new whatever. Oh, you get to be this, yada, yada. You wouldn't weirdly do a roughly 5-month ad cycle now, which is what it's going to turn into, where you have everybody going into Christmas going, oh man, the Harry Potter game, only for all the parents to wander into stores and go, hey, the Harry Potter game, and like, oh, that's not out until next year.
Yeah. Especially like, I mean, I guess maybe they're afraid of people forgetting about the game, but like, you're gonna run out of shit to show people.
Right, but ramp right up after Christmas. Like, go nuts.
And they also announced that you can link your Wizarding World account with your WB Games account or something like that.
Yeah.
So in the game, when you do finally get to play the game, it sorts you into the right house, like your house or whatever.
Yeah. I don't remember what I am. I feel like I'm Hufflepuff, but
I'm a Slytherin, so
it was either that or Ravenclaw. I don't know. I'd have to ask Sam what I was.
probably Ravenclaw.
I don't know if I like that.
They're the ones that are like smart, like they're more analytical and smart about
how
things.
the hell am I in Ravenclaw?
Hufflepuffs are like no one wants. Well, I don't want to say that.
Exactly, Matt.
It's
no one wants me.
if you were in Hufflepuff, I'd be like, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, either I just know it's not one of the main two.
Nintendo is reportedly planning multiple GameCube remaster remakes for Nintendo Switch, and there's a rumor of a direct happening in September. Rocksmith Plus is launching on PC on September 6th with over 5,000 songs and more to come.
Again, you want to talk about Ubisoft? No one remembers that that's coming.
Nope.
I didn't know when it was coming, and to find out that it's literally showing up on Tuesday, from this record, the next time it's a Tuesday, that game is out.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious to see what the reception is of that, because when it was originally announced and they were showing stuff for it, I'm like, this is actually a really cool idea.
Yeah, I was all on board with it it seemed like a really cool idea.
But I think where people got turned off is it's, as you would expect, it's subscription based.
Right.
And I don't know what the pricing is, so might have to look into that. Paramount Consumer Products and Experiences has revealed in its September 2022 edition of Toy World magazine that they plan to release a brand new AAA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game in 2023. I fucking forgot that bag again.
She sent it to me as she's eating it. Matt forgot these again. I'm surprised they're still there.
It's her. That, and she's probably passively aggressively trying to remind me to ask you about a baseball game that she keeps bringing up. But we'll get to that later.
Okay.
1047 Games has ceased development on Splitgate in favor of building a new game from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5. The new game will be a shooter, have gates, and be free.
I was a big fan of that. I respected their posts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read through it and I was like, oh,
yeah,
Splitgate's not shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys got big. Oh, you're going for it. Okay,
yep.
All right,
yep.
All right, let's go.
It was a nice post. It was very, very open. Basically, the gist is what he said. The Splitgate is not shutting down. They're just no longer developing it, and they basically looked at their options and said, you know what, we're better off.
Full send.
Yeah, we're better off sending it, building a new game from the ground up in a new engine the way we want to do it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Unreal 5? Ooh.
I'm sure Unreal Engine 5 and their like clear passion for first-person shooters and capturing that like original Halo feel.
It's so good.
I'm sure it'll be amazing. So.
And free.
They know what's up. And finally, AMD has formally announced their Ryzen 7000 CPUs. The takeaways. The AM platform is more expensive, more power hungry, and faster. Which makes sense.
And
because
Nate just wants to know my pre-order prices and when I can put one in my cart.
I can tell you the prices if you want to know.
No, because my 3D chip I don't think is out yet.
No, you're going to have to wait a year.
Nah, I might not do that.
I mean, you got two options. You can do the 5800
yeah, the 3D
with a 3D cache, which I think in your situation, it's the smarter choice because apparently it's like the fucking bee's knees for games like WoW. Like legitimately like 20 to 30 frames higher than, you know, a 5900X or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. But, yeah, they didn't change the price points.
Oh, yeah.
So
and I'm just waiting on the 40 series anyway for...
Yeah. they didn't change the price points, and the reason the platform's more expensive: new motherboards, new socket,
Yeah.
DDR5,
Everything new. Just
PCI Express or PCIe
Gen 4.
5.
Oh, 5?
Yeah, they're in Gen
PCI
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the whole kit and caboodle, and their clock speeds are like their boost speed on the 12 core chip. No, not 12 core chip. The 12 core chip. The 7900 5.7.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
they're flying.
they go so fast.
CPU go burr. Yeah, they do. They have the 7950 with 16 cores. That has a boost speed of 5.6, which is kind of nuts in itself. 16 cores, and
Yeah.
I think it has like an all core boost of like low fives, all core, which is insane. But the TDP is like 170 watts. So
One might call that unnecessary.
yeah, and that's it. That's it for
All right. I mean, it's been
All
7
fun
days.
stuff.
What you been up to?
not a whole lot.
Good
Started
talk.
the post World War II Japan book. It's been miserable. I don't
That's
think
true. I mean, post World War II Japan for a while is pretty miserable.
it's pretty bad.
Though, based on what you were saying, really miserable.
Yeah, and it's terrible because a lot of it's like them reading firsthand accounts, so like
Right.
letters sent to newspapers and like diaries,
primary
and
sources,
and it's pretty. I don't think I listened to too much this week. I think I took a break because it was just a lot.
There is a certain point where you need to take a break from depressing material.
Yeah, watched the first episode of Lord of the Rings, so that's actually bizarrely intriguing. So I'll have to check that out.
You gotta relax, man.
Yeah.
Can't have these wild takes out here.
And that's really it. Haven't been anything too exciting. Just doing the normal life thing, trying to make it day to day.
Hey, that's all we can ever do.
What have you been up to?
A little thing called World of Warcraft.
Someone's got to, do things for the Horde, I guess.
Woo for the Horde, yeah, go team. That's me at BlizzCon. Go team.
For the Horde.
Woo. Fucking nerds. Every time. The transfer window is over for Premier League clubs, though. So Kenny and I found a save file today that is updated.
Oh, no.
And it has begun.
Oh, no.
Because we're waiting for, obviously, the new game doesn't come out usually until late October. So we've started again with a new save. We'll see how far we actually get. So there's that. Otherwise, it's just mostly been WoW.
A lot of
All my
talent,
typical stuff.
a lot of talent tree balances, it looks like.
There's been a lot of stuff changing because they've moved into beta now. They're out of
so
alpha. We're into beta.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff moving around. Druid trees got changed again today, but I don't know if that's for this coming week.
I saw that. I have a habit now where I've added into my podcast rotation. I go to Wowhead and look at all the news for a while. Just because, I got a trend now where we usually have a news article in there about WoW.
Okay.
So I'm like, I just look and I'm like, what's going on here? And it's like all these talent tree changes and stuff. And
Yeah, I think a lot of the changes that they announced yesterday or whatever, I don't know if they were putting them in this weekend or if they're waiting until reset next week to actually put them in. But I'd be curious to play around again and see what they changed for my healing druid. But
is there a general vibe with the community as far as what they've seen so far? It's people swinging one way or the other, or they're just kind of
some stuff has released really well.
Mm-hmm.
Other stuff has released kind of questionably.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've been pretty good so far about making iteration changes and changing everything, and it's been okay, all right,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Priest and Druid were the some of the first two and some of the longest ones to get their updates, because the rumor was that the person that was working on those ones took a break or like took time off or left the company or whatever. So as all the other ones were coming out, everybody's like, when are we getting the updates for the other ones? And that was the rumor. I don't know if it was ever true or anything, but that was them getting updates this week was their whole thing. So so we'll see. It's again, so far that's moving forward at a good pace, and
your thoughts on release still hold true as far as release timing?
What did I say?
I don't remember.
November, I think.
I think I want to say November, but I'm not 100% sure if that was correct.
That's what the leak was. I also think that's probably the case. The only other time I can see them doing it is like mid-December, but I don't know if that's. I don't know when they're going to do it, and then what they're going to do with the raid.
That was I remember that being the thing, was like the timing with the raid.
Yeah, because it's tradition of like a month after the game launches, the raid shows up. But then it's a holiday thing, and it gets into a whole argument that I don't even want to deal with, because I went on that rant that one time of just dealing with people, and it's like, nah, I'm not. Just see whatever happens. Whatever happens, happens. It doesn't affect me, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for me.
I'm good.
Alrighty. Then we will see you all in 7 days. Have a fun holiday weekend. Bye-bye.